there was an interesting thing that in recent news that these two things kind of coincided, and actually a segue to one of your disappointments about Bono is Trump has his own Twitter platform. I think it's called Truth Social or whatever. And a few weeks ago, he put out I think they call them truths instead of tweets.
Yeah, instead of a tweet.
Yeah. And so I want to read that from President Trump because he's kind of an interesting figure.
You know what I hate about that?
What?
This is the most I've thought about it is in the few seconds since you just said that. I mean, I knew that, but I never really thought about it. It sets you up for the most postmodern social media site ever. Because, did you see my truth? No, I've seen my truth. I didn't see your truth.
Oh, yes.
I want to share your truth. It's not my truth. It's your truth. I'm just saying.
Yeah, way to lean into the one thing that the type of people who would
who's the progressive here, Bono or Trump?
Right, exactly. Just post your truth. You've sent your truth.
Okay, go on.
But I didn't see this on Truth Social. I actually saw somebody copy this.
I've never been on Truth Social.
And put it on Twitter.
Hit it.
And so on Twitter, I saw this truth. Do we have the truth that he sent out?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So this was interesting. They said, speaking about the midterms, he said, it wasn't my fault the Republicans didn't live up to expectations in the midterms. I was 233 to 20, which I don't know what that means. It was the, quote, abortion issue poorly handled by many Republicans, especially those that firmly insisted on no exceptions, even in the cases of rape, incest, or life of the mother, which I don't think any Republican ever said no exceptions to that at all. That lost large numbers of voters. Also, the people that pushed so hard for decades against abortion got their wish from the United States Supreme Court and just plain disappeared, not to be seen again. Plus, Mitch, stupid monies. I don't know, but here is a tweet from former President Trump griping about the election results, right? But I don't really care about that so much as I care about him seemingly chastising the pro-life people for not doing enough and not conceding enough to the Democrats on this abortion issue. And apparently, you disappeared after I delivered. And then a few weeks later, he was in this religious news service article that I stumbled upon. And here, he seems to sing a slightly different tune that really, really irritates me. If you have that article.
The article, yeah.
Yeah. He says in this article about, Trump chides one-time evangelicals who have an endorsement. If you scroll down a little bit.
This is from Religious News Service.
Yeah. I don't know if you've linked that in the thing. You could read the whole thing. But if you keep going down, first he talks about loyalty. Starting in the paragraph above a quote, it says, despite initially saying he didn't, quote, really care about the lack of endorsement from pastors such as Jeffress. I guess that's
Robert Jeffress.
Yeah, the guy on Fox News all the time at First Baptist Dallas, whatever, who preached a sermon to Trump the day he was inaugurated titled When God Chooses a Leader. The former president went on to voice palpable frustration. He says, it's a sign of disloyalty, Trump said. There's great disloyalty in the world of politics, and that's a sign of disloyalty. Trump then touted his record on abortion, noting his administration appointed 3 conservative Supreme Court justices, a move that ultimately resulted in the overturning of Roe v. Wade, ending nearly 50 years of nationwide right to an abortion. Nobody, quote, has ever done more for the right to life than Donald Trump, insisted the former president. As if all those people for 50 years fighting that Roe v. Wade, they didn't do anything. Okay. Trump appeared to blame evangelical leaders for the Republican Party's showing in the 2022 midterm elections, saying he was, quote, a little disappointed because I thought they could have fought much harder on the issue of abortion, which isn't Donald Trump. He goes on to say a lot of them didn't fight or weren't really around to fight. It did energize the Democrats. I don't know. They weren't protesting and doing what they could have done. So in one tweet, he's saying, you guys didn't cave enough to the Democrats. You bad Republicans. In another tweet, he's talking probably to conservative evangelicals, you're disloyal and you didn't fight hard enough for abortion. Yeah. And one of the things that, and the reason why I brought up Trump is Trump's not alone in this, right? Mm-hmm. But Trump illustrates a problem with Christianity and politics in general. Okay? First of all, when I say something about Trump, inevitably people are going to get mad. I do this in our group, right? I'll say something about Trump, and then we do have a lot of, more conservative or right-wing or Republican type people in our Facebook group, and it's always it's either so he's this, and this, and that's good, or it's, yeah, I know, but he's also this, And Christians always feel a need to defend a politician who just called presumably the pro-lifers in our group who supported President Trump, and made defenses or excuses, take your pick, for some of his horrible. He just called you disloyal. That's like Jesus saying, you a little. I mean, he's calling you disloyal, and the problem is, I think that they're not disloyal. It's that sometimes people are too loyal for their preferred political people, because Trump can tout his record on abortion all he wants to Christians, right? But that's his record on abortion. I'd say putting the conservative judges on to eventually overturn. That's what he said he would do to get their vote.
That's the bare minimum of what we expect, right?
Right. You owe that to the people who voted for you. They don't owe you their loyalty to you. You owe them a delivering on a promise you made. And too often Christians
you
think,
if you elect me, certain things will happen.
Right. Christians think that it works the other way around. They do this, so you have to be loyal to a politician, right? That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me, because politicians
become symbolic of a set of views or a cultural approach,
right?
And everyone might agree, or not everyone, but many people will agree that, well, yeah, of course, there's lots of things about Trump that we don't like, right?
Yeah, and a lot of Christians will concede that, but what they won't concede, but sometimes it's like, of course, Trump and waving pride flags around on the Republican National Convention stage, where overwhelmingly Republicans are not in favor of those kinds, though they're moving along closer to embracing that. I mean, the secular conservatism is almost with progressive Christianity on that kind of thing, right? I mean, why are Christians supposed to sit back? It's the same problem I see with Democrat Christians, like especially in the black church. It's overwhelmingly like 90% they vote Democrat. It's like I hang out with a lot of urban apologists in the Bodega group, and it was funny because when Roe v. Wade got overturned, there was a lot of people doing in that group doing but trying to find something wrong with it. And one of the urban apologists, to his infinite credit, he says, "Why can't y'all be happy about this? The Republican did something good, right? Let's be happy. Let's not but it. Let's not, oh, this is not as good as it should have been, or, oh, they just did that to get political power for other things. Let's be happy that something good happened on the issue of abortion." And everyone's like, yeah. Because I mean, and I imagine for urban apologists in particular, it's a difficult position because a lot of their audience is going to be pro-Democrat, and a lot of Christians that are more white evangelicals are going to be more pro-Republican. That's just facts. That's just vote. You can go look at that stuff from Barna and stuff. But Christians need to get out of this because, number one, left or right, Republican, Democrat, Christian, do not be loyal to any political party. If the Democrats do something good, I'm going to say that was good, right? If the Republicans do something good and you're a Christian, say that was good. Our job is to call good, good, and evil,
evil.
Our job is not to try to find evil in good and good in evil.
Right.
Don't call good evil and evil good. Woe to you.
On the other hand, people on both sides are naturally going to be very suspicious of the claimed goods, right?
Right.
So, I understand that. But, yeah, if there's good there, good.
Yeah.
Don't feel like that's a loss for you because your political opponent, did that. No, that's a win for everybody if it's a good thing, except evildoers if it's a good thing.
Yeah,
right?
because look how quick Trump is ready to blame all the people that helped get him elected because an election he wasn't even involved in didn't turn out quite as good for the Republican. Trump, who was, by the way, a Democrat 10 years ago. right? I mean, and fine. I don't care whatever his motivations were to run as a Republican and then do some good things on the abortion issue, right? Things that he actually owed them, that he had to remain loyal to the people that got him elected on that issue. They don't owe him anything. You wanted their vote. You did the bare minimum, like you said, and then moved on. So Trump illustrates a problem for both parties and Christians, wherever you line up on both parties. Get out of this idea that you can't criticize. If you have a team or you generally lean a team, I hide nothing. I don't hardly ever, Mark Pryor in Arkansas for Senate, right? Of course, Bill Maher hated him because he was a pro-life Democrat or whatever, but like, I don't typically vote for Democrats. That does not mean that I am not going to voice displeasure at Republicans when they are doing bad things and they do bad things. And I want to make a challenge to my friends who are more on the Democrat side. I mean, first, I feel bad for you because the Democrats obviously stand as a matter of policy things that are anti-biblical. And so you have a tougher road than a lot because tax policy, who cares? Bible doesn't give us a biblical tax policy, right? Mm-hmm. I don't really. You're a one issue. You're a single issue voter. You said, right? For you,
so long as this issue is on the table, I don't see how I can help be.
Yeah,
if one
but that would include a pro-life Democrat in Louisiana over like a pro-choice Republican in like New Hampshire or Maine, right? It's not always, national politics is a little bit different.
I don't play teams. If we're killing babies, I want it to stop. And whoever tells me they're going to stop it, and I believe them.
Right. Well, if you're a state Democrat in Louisiana, you're a lot more pro-life than a House of Representatives federal level congressman or woman from Maine. So it's not quite as clear cut as we want to think once you get past national politics, when basically Christians need to be more focused on what's going on in local politics more than that, because that affects your daily life more, right? And you can find people there's like in Arkansas prior to 2012 where the politics changed, for example, like most people were like, Democrats were like Mark Pryor. I mean, interestingly enough, Bill Clinton, for all of it, was no better, like morally, than Donald Trump. But he's from my home state of Arkansas, but actually, he was probably more Republican. I mean, what was that Michael Moore guy who's the radical leftist said that he was probably the best Republican president in decades or something about Bill Clinton, because Bill Clinton's probably. Despite his personal baggage, just as insofar as he probably governed more Republican-ish than maybe even Trump did, right? Because, politics is always in constant flux. So my message to Christians, left or right, and I'm only picking on Trump because he gave such an obvious, immediate, within 2 weeks kind of example of this, but it goes for all the politicians, right? You don't owe loyalty to any politicians. You owe loyalty to Jesus. And if one side or the other does good and it's in line with Jesus, use that, applaud it, say, and that's the Jesus, King Jesus working his way through ill means, just like Christians argued Trump was the Cyrus that God worked through, even though he was whatever. Okay. Well, that guy could do that with any of them. And so you don't owe your loyalty to anybody, but you should be able to, as a Christian, call out everyone when they're doing evil.